In this episode, we are going to be working on the S15's interior. But first, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. This helps me continue to create fortnightly automotive content for your enjoyment. All right, enough of this intro. Let's get back to the video. So we're going to take everything out of the car once again and start detailing the center console, any other bits and pieces I took off from the front. And then once that's complete, I'm going to start working on the back half. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So you're probably wondering, why do I always wear slides, sandals, whatever you want to call them? Well, it's because when I get into this interior, I don't want to dirty it any more than what I need to. So take my shoes off so that I keep this bloody thing clean. As we're taking off bits, it's very easy to break these small clips. These clips are probably OEM, straight from the factory. These are probably over 20 years old. These are the ones that I need to get out so I can replace them. I want to try and preserve them in case I can't find new ones, because maybe I'm not really sure how it works. I don't know if there's universal ones yet or whether they're particular for this car. I do have a universal kit, so I'll have a look in that. Pretty much, I don't have the correct tools to remove these safely. There's some interior trim tools. I'm gonna go pick some up now. I think I'm needing them anyway. Every time I remove interior pieces, this stuff kind of happens, and then I end up breaking things and then having to replace it. And I might even see if they've got some universal clips as well. There was a clip that was here and it's just gone flying and I can't actually find it. Using the new toys. Comes in a nice pouch. How good's that? That's nice. Worth the money. All right, let's see how good this actually is. All right, that seems like it needs a bigger one. Oh, all right. Ah, there we go. Oh, how stupid am I? Oh, I was gonna rip the whole damn thing off. All right. I've had to make some decisions in terms of what I'm gonna do here. Because this is not my car, I can't have it sitting around with no interior trims for such a long period of time. So my friend needs to have access to this car at any particular time, so that's why I can't let it sit. Now, it's already sat like this for about 2 weeks, and I don't want it to sit any longer. So things like the seatbelt that I'd like to have done, but I probably don't think I'm going to be, only because I've done a bit of research and I feel like this is something that is a bit out of my scope. Considering this, it requires more to be taken off than what I thought. I don't know why this is so guarded. This is like Fort Knox with this damn seatbelt. But the seatbelt mechanism has a lot of small parts that need to be ordered, and a specialist is probably well suited to do this kind of job. This panel is going to go straight back on. I've broken some clips for no reason, but we're going to replace it. I always do this to myself. I always take things off, and then I never needed to take them off in the first place. It's quite a common occurrence. I find I can detail this trim piece off the car, but I feel like that's going to be more hassle because it's going to be moving around. It's quite flimsy. So I'm just going to put it back in. I actually remember now, there was a genuine reason for me to take this thing off. Yes, it's all not for nothing. It's not all for nothing. This wire needs to be tucked in. So now I can do it somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to do it. I'm going to tuck this wire in somewhere, get around this seatbelt. We'll figure it out. Great idea. It's not ideal for the wire, but that's how it was done. Just gonna leave it how it was done. Was that always missing? I honestly can't remember whether I did that or that was already like that. Well, hopefully I'll have something to replace it with. Just wait and see. Okay, to do this properly, I'm going to need to remove this seatbelt and bring the wire in. What am I saying? This is definitely not properly. If I was going to do this properly, I'd remove everything, but I'm not doing that. I'm just making it a tiny bit better than what it was before.
Screen. You're a newborn watching foot porn, now it's family dues. Find out event to Hooker Institute's about 13. Learning curse things, first curse words spoke when you ejaculate on a purse strings. Come back cause it's easy, sleazy games sit on sandbox. Lonely morning bone, harder than stone, but I cannot. Sex deprived like Hancock, my pants hot. Damn eggs burning, my hands not. Got no armor on my jewels, I ain't from Camelot, but these women plotting and scheming.
Okay, this thing's in. Before I put this cover on, I'm going to clean up all this. Now that I can see it, I may as well clean it. Probably a better idea than just leaving it like that. I'm gonna grab my soapy water and my clean rag that happens to be a sock, okay? It's not a used sock that's dirty, it's actually very clean. And it's not my sock either. Just to make that very clear. Now it's a dirty sock.
I ain't no role model. Drink a whole bottle of Henny, throw pennies, my pocket's empty. No Benz keys on my soul bottoms like.
The cleaning brush is back out again. And we're gonna basically do this on the car. Now you would have noticed that I was spraying the spray onto the brush a lot of the time when I was working on the front. I only do that because I don't want the spray to sort of go everywhere on parts that I've already cleaned. But at the back, I should be okay just to spray on.
Don't try and be me, I ain't one of 100 feet running like centipedes. This is my medicine, my remedy. That each perspective sees
something that no one's gonna see, but I saw it. So I'm gonna clean it. Look, I'm definitely not happy about it because the other one is completely different. But it stays and it holds the thing in. And I've got nothing else that I can get. And if I wanted to get it proper, I'd be probably looking to ship it from somewhere, and that might take a very long time. Unfortunately, I do not have that kind of time. Right now, it's going to do. It still holds it in, and no one's going to ever see it because it's blocked in by the chair. So I'm not too fussed. It's just got to be what it is. Still works. What I was checking for is to see whether this carpet is bad because the water got spilt in here. But it doesn't seem to be so bad. So what I'll do is I will just quickly vacuum all this out, this carpet while it's still here. And then I know that I don't need to take out this carpet, so I can just put everything else back in and call it a day. And then we can move on to the trunk, boot, wherever you live. It's all the same but different. Gross. What is that? There's this gross yellow paste in the boot. I hope it's glue and not something else. But we need to get rid of it. And that's what the sock is for. Oh. So back when I was a younger boy, when I first got my license, when I had my S2000, I took out my Space Saver to replace it, Space Saver being this wheel, to replace it with an amp because I thought that it's cooler if I didn't have the spare wheel. Now that I think about it, it is the dumbest thing I probably did, because if I ever got into a situation where I'm really far away from anyone, which I did go very far with that car, I didn't have a spare wheel if my tire got punctured. Can't believe I took the Space Saver out. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why it's cooler either. It doesn't make much sense. Yeah, right. Okay, I reckon we can try and extract the carpet and see what happens. That might be a good idea. And then while this is drying, I can get into the car. Sounds like a good plan. I'm ready to use the extraction vacuum. This time around, I'm using both formulas. Last time I only used the spot and stain, but now I've used the Oxy Boost as well. When I used the extraction vacuum on the seats, I think I went a bit too tame. I didn't use enough water. I was just worried that if I used too much water, it was gonna soak into the foam and then I wouldn't be able to dry them out. But they still dried out pretty well over a heater. This time round, we've got a pretty bad stain and I'm gonna go ham, put it. I'm gonna spray the shit out of this thing. I'm gonna wet it. It's gonna be moist and I'm hoping that that's gonna get rid of the stain to see if this extraction vacuum actually works properly. All right, let's give it a go. I've done a full run, probably about 10 minutes worth of back and forth. The stain is not as prominent as it was before, but it still exists. Both those stains still exist. I'm sure they smell better now. I didn't actually smell what they smelled like before. I think my expectations for the extraction vacuum were a bit different. I expected things to fix, but it doesn't look like every stain can be fixed. This is a thin piece of material, so I think if I throw this in the sun, I should be able to dry it out and then put it back in the car. So whilst that's drying, I'm gonna start assembling the interior and we'll go from there. Things are looking really nice in here. Center console's in, looking shiny as ever. And I just realized this back seat, last episode I said, oh, it's so clean, it's never been used. I think you might have seen it, but there's actually a bit of, I don't know what to call it. It's almost like someone sat here and they were really sweaty and there's like an outline of that sweaty person. They might have had sunscreen on or something, but it's soaking into the seat. Now, I noticed this after I cleaned up the extraction vacuum and put it away and everything was great, because that thing takes a lot of effort to bring out, especially after you're done with it. Once you've cleaned it, that's it. And I'm really like, oh man, my ability to do anything right now is limited. But I think at some point I'm going to find an excuse to pull this out again. Maybe it's when I do these seatbelts, if I get approval to do that. I'm getting approval like someone's my boss. Yep. When you're working on someone else's car, you need approval because they're the ones who are looking at changing that. Otherwise, if this YouTube channel does really well, I will do it for free. You never know. Maybe in 2-3 years if I still have this car. Anyway, pipe dreams. So yeah, man, that sucks because I can't do anything about the disgusting sweat that's on here, and it definitely wasn't me. I did not sit in that seat and I do not sweat that much. So I guess we're going to move on. I'm putting these seats back in, going to put the battery back in, and then the carpet back in. Before I put any of the seats in, it's a great opportunity to get the glass cleaner out, clean all the windows inside while I've got some space. Now to take it for a drive. That's not great. The battery is dead. I just put the battery in. Fucking hell. It's a completely new day. It's official. This battery is absolutely toast. Wouldn't even start, couldn't even jump start it. There was nothing I can do. So I've gone ahead and bought some new goodies. The last thing we got to finish the other day was this carpet. So right now it's looking pretty good compared to what it was before, and it's smelling much better. So I'm really happy that doesn't smell as bad as it did before. So official, no mold growing on that thing anymore. Final steps to complete the interior. I know battery's not interior, but we need that to drive the car. So new battery. We're going to pull the steering wheel off and make it straight because it's not. And I'm going to fix the floor mat emblem, not in a traditional upholstery way, but with super glue. So let's get to it. So why exactly am I using super glue for something that can be simply buttoned on? So this particular button is basically broken, and I was unable to find a better alternative for this. That's why I'm doing it like this. So basically I'm going to poke through the male end of this emblem and super glue the female end, if that makes any sense. Regardless, I'm doing it. It's the only alternative I can think of. Cool. That will sit for a little bit. Onto the steering wheel. This is how the steering wheel sits right now. It's sitting on a slight right. The wheels are completely straight, or by eye, they are completely straight. This is never going to be perfect. That's what a wheel alignment's for. But all I want to do is center the steering wheel so that it doesn't cause any issues moving forward. So what I'll do now is I've disconnected the battery. I'm just going to chock up the wheels so they don't move. And then I know that all I need to do is just move the wheel off slightly straight. And then I think I should be in the clear going forward. I'll mark it out. But this is the first time for me, and we'll see how we go. You see that bolt there? That screw? That star? I don't have the tools for it. And I just went to the tool shop. And now I have to go back. Here's another tool to add to the inventory. And he bets I'm not even going to use the damn thing after I'm finished with this steering wheel. The issue here is that underneath the car, things are misaligned, and that's due to me. I never did it properly. So this is just as good as I'm going to get it. Because there's grooves that the steering wheel meets up with the car or the column. I don't know what the part is called. There are certain grooves that it can slot into, and it can either go really far left or just where it is now. So right now, it's probably the best I'm going to get it. I don't even know if it's that much different to what it was before. I think it was very lopsided. That's assuming that my wheels are completely straight. But until I drive it, I'll have no idea. So I'm going to put this all back together and hope for the best. I'm adding thread locker because it's a steering wheel at the end of the day. I don't want this thing coming off. Torque wrench tightening to 49 Newton meters, apparently. Super glued floor mat, and it seems to have worked okay temporarily. If it comes off, then we'll have to find a more permanent fix. But right now, this is great. There we go. That's nice. And the plot thickens. I'm a very silly boy. I bought the wrong battery. It's the right battery, but the terminals are on the wrong side. So this is the new battery, terminals on the wrong side. Terminals should be up here. So I'm hoping this is the very last time I have to go for a drive down the road to purchase something from the same automotive shop. Fingers crossed, this is the very last time. Oh. Fucking fan. Stop.